Hi. I would like to love flying. I would like to have an unlimited disposable income. And I would like to have really good, really easy orgasms all the time.
In other words, you're seeking alignment.
I'm seeking alignment, and I think I'm seeking a trust in myself and a trust in the world around me.
Well, maybe, but you're going about it in a really hard way.
I know.
Because by seeking a trust, that means everybody out there needs to line up with what I want, which means you have to care about what I want. They cared about one of those things. You have to care about what I want, and you have to do everything in your power to perform and behave in ways that I can then just observe. What you're saying to us is, I didn't know so much about these receiving modes. And so I've been doing what most people do. I've been observing and getting into the receiving mode of whatever I'm observing. And so sometimes what I observe causes me to receive a feeling of negative emotion, and sometimes it causes me to receive a feeling of positive emotion, but I'm not really in control of that. And the reason is, and we may say to you several times today, this is the most important thing that you will hear from us. This is the most important thing that you will hear from us. If you wait until a manifested moment. Now, what do we mean by a manifested moment? Here's one. It's now. It's the see it, hear it, smell it, taste it, touch it moment. It's the observational moment of life. In other words, here it is. It's manifested. It's manifested because you're translating all of this vibration through your eyes into what you see and through your nose into what you smell. And this is a moment of manifestation. So if you get in the moment and then you seek to change it, it's too late. This moment manifested. Here it is. It manifested. And what it manifested into, all of the components of this manifestation are about what you were doing as you were making your way to it. In other words, ready to be ready to be ready to be ready to be ready. So if you do like so many people do, you keep standing in your manifested moment, noticing the things that are missing in it, then you keep preparing the next moment to be just like it. You get that? So it's different faces, different places, but the same old stuff just keeps happening. Some of it good, some of it not so good. Because you're letting your mind be mostly about what you're observing. What you're observing through your physical senses, and in many ways, what you're receiving from that receiving mode. Television really affects the receiving mode of so many people, and it doesn't help you in a positive way for the most part. What you're observing is setting the basis of your vibration. So, we didn't tell you this today, but here's how it works. So you're sifting through now. You know what you don't want. You're launching a rocket of desire. Your rockets of desires are culminating in what we've been calling this vibrational reality. You just got to accept it. It's vibrational stuff that you can't see or hear or smell or taste or touch yet. But it is a vibrational reality. It's like the seed in the ground. You can't see that either. But you don't go out there and dig the seed up because it didn't show itself to you the next day. In other words, you understand that there's a process. Well, the seed in the ground for you is this vibrational reality. And this vibration will come out where you can see it and play with it, where you can enjoy it and experience it. But there's a gestation process that is taking place. And so most people are offering their vibration based solely upon what they are observing. And since what they are observing is always less than what they want, always 100% of the time, always less than what you want. Because life has caused you to put so much into your vortex that hasn't manifested yet. And so your now reality is always missing all the things that are coming. And if you're only looking at now, then what happens is you become more question-oriented and more problem-oriented or more step one-oriented, when it would be so simple, easy for us to say, for you to slip into the step 3 mode where you are receiving from your inner being what your inner being knows. Now think about it. If your receiving mode is mostly about what you're observing, and you don't have as much money as you want and you're observing that, then you're not a good helper to yourself. You're not your own best counselor. Because when you think about money, you think about it in all the ways that don't help. You think, I want more. In fact, I'd like infinite money flowing to me. I want way more than I've got. That was a lot of money you don't have.
It's true. But I'm getting there.
When you are looking through your physical senses, so who would you rather be your counselor or your inspirer? You, who believes you don't have enough money, or your inner being who's over here standing with all of the vibrational seeds of all the money that you've been asking for? Your inner being who knows your prosperity. Who would you rather be your counselor? We're really asking you. Such an obvious question and such an obvious answer, but who would you rather be your counselor? Who would you rather receive your impulses from? Your inner being. But how are you going to do that if you haven't practiced getting into the receptive mode of your inner being? If your habit is just to knee-jerk respond is to ask your friends who don't have any money either, or who aren't having enough orgasms either. You want to talk to your inner being. You want to listen for your inner being. And so once you begin doing that, you'll notice that since your inner being really does, we're not kidding you, your inner being knows what you want and how it will most logically and most easily and most quickly and most, here's the key word, in the most satisfying way, unfold for you into another manifestation and another and another and another and another and another and another and another. You can't get there from here. You can't get there from here, from this physical place that you stand, because your beliefs block you. You believe stuff about yourself that your inner being knows is not true. And so you got to quiet your mind. You got to let your inner being run the show for a little while. Just a few seconds while you meditate, just a few minutes here and there, just an impulse here and there and here and there, until what you will show yourself, these words aren't going to show it to you. What you will show yourself if you meditate and if you find that quiet place and if you feel detached and if you receive an impulse of thought and if you follow it through and if you see how it works, if you will do that on a regular basis, you will then be listening to your inner being. And everyone you know who has achieved in magnificent ways is doing exactly that. They don't listen to the world in the way the world is speaking. They're listening to something that is coming from that broader perspective, something that is including everything that is important to you, you see.